Hello everyone, welcome back to another Pokemon trading card game video. Today you will see two really fun decks go up against each other. On our left is Dietrich, better known as Ace567. He was at my pre-release, and maybe I'll leave a link to his channel in the description. Yeah, why not? He's like the only person who actually knows me in real life that's subscribed to me, so... well, not the only one, but he's probably... well, I don't know. He's the one that most people would probably know about that actually has a YouTube channel. So, Dietrich is playing an Yveltal Garbodor deck, which is really, really good. That's a deck that I've been playing for a while. I'm surprised it didn't do better at Worlds, personally, but anyway. And on our right, we have a player named Kendell, who is playing one of everyone's favorite decks of all time, Round. And the way Round works is you set up one Round Pokemon, usually Seismitoad. I've seen people play Wigglytuff. I've seen people try to actually just use Meloetta. But Seismitoad is the most consistent one. For 2 colorless energy, Round does 30 damage times the number of Pokemon on your side that have the attack called Round. Which basically, if you have a full bench, does 180. That'll knock out almost anything. And then Seismitoad only yields 1 prize, so long as you can keep a nice stream of Seismitoads going, you're in a pretty good position. Anyway, we see the opening here. Dietrich's going first, which is perfect for Kendell, who started out with an Emolga. Call for Family for 1 colorless energy. This was huge before the current format, where you were unable to go on your first turn, unable to attack on your first turn if you went first. This was huge. If you start out with Emolga, Call for Family gets you 2 free Pokemon onto your bench, just like that. So that's perfect for Round, and unfortunately people haven't been playing Emolga as much now. It's seen a little bit of play, but nothing compared with before, where it was in a whole lot of decks. But now it's just not seen that much, because it only really works if you go second. And if you have the choice, you almost never go second. Plus, you don't know if you'll have Emolga in your hand until after it is decided who goes first. So the fact that Kendell plays Emolga is a bit surprising, but it works out perfectly for him in this situation. Now he'll be able to use Call for Family and get his bench filled up, which is really good since Emolga was his only starting Pokemon. Let's see here. So Dietrich used Ultra Ball there. He's trying to decide what to discard. He ended up discarding a Darkness Energy and another Ultra Ball. That's perfectly fine, especially considering that his other options were either Muscle Band or Garbodor, neither of which is a good idea to discard. And he got a Darkrai EX. Now that Yveltal has free retreat if he so desires. And he's unable to attack that Emolga. If he had managed to like get on top of everything that we see here, a Dark Patch and an Energy Switch, he would have won. Just like that. That's how ridiculous this deck is, and that's ultimately the reason why there was a change, I believe. It's just because there were so many times when people got donked where they were unable to even attack in a match. Or they were unable to even start their turn because they just were unable to get anything out, or their opponent was just that fast. Anyway, long story short, Dietrich is unable to attack, and Kendell is very proud. He played 2 roller skates there, flipped 2 heads, and what do you know, not a single basic out of all that. He did, however, get 3 Palpitoads. And there's already another one in his hand. That is the most unideal situation ever. He does have a energy, though, so he can attach to Emolga and Call for Family. Fire him, I'd definitely get 2 Temples out, so he can evolve into Palpitoad next turn. That is just so unfortunate. 4 Palpitoads. Usually, Round decks don't run that many. They run something like 4-4 with 4 rare candies of Temple, Palpitoad, and Seismitoad. But Kendell decided, you know what, this is just for fun. I'm going to try this and see how it's working out. It didn't really work out that well, considering he had 4 Palpitoads in his hand and no Temples or Seismitoads, which was really unfortunate. So there he just called for Family and got 2 Temples into play. That's perfect. And Dietrich do another Darkness Energy, so now all of a sudden that Emolga will get knocked out this turn. In fact, that's exactly what just happened. He just Evil Balled for knockout. And now Kendell promotes one of his temples. He top deck a Seismitoad. That's perfect. He could rare candy his active into Seismitoad, and he has a Professor Juniper. That's his only supporter, unfortunately, but that's fine. He can play that, try to get a few more round Pokemon in play, ideally Meloetta EX, which does not need to evolve before it has the round attack. And he does need a double colorless energy to attack, though. He's eyeing the Psychic, maybe he'll attach that just in case. But then, if he does pull a double colorless off of his next 7 cards, if he decides to play Juniper, then maybe he just, maybe he'll decide not to play Juniper just because there's so much awesome stuff in his hand. He's contemplating what to do. If I were him, I'd definitely play the Juniper. That is a whole lot of stuff to get rid of, but it's not too big of a deal, I guess. There's also a Professor's Letter in his hand. I would probably actually play that first, just to see what's in my deck. Count up the number of Meloettas and double colorless energies and stuff like that, just to see what your odds are of getting stuff you need off your Juniper. But, well, he is eyeing that Psychic energy. But nope, he's just going to play Professor Juniper instead. Now, off this 7 cards, he needs a double colorless just to attack. Then, ideally, Meloetta EX as well. Oh, he got neither. Oh, that's horrible. He did get an Ultra Ball, though. He could definitely use that to get a Meloetta into play. He got 2 Ultra Balls, but that would mean discarding a whole lot of stuff. Ouch. He's going to attach a water energy to that Palpitoad because it's pretty obvious this Seismitoad, the more energy it has on it, and it being unable to attack, the more trouble he's in, because the Yveltal just gets more and more powerful for every energy that Kendell attaches, as well as Dietrich. So here we see an Ultra Ball is going to discard that Emolga, which is useless now. Call for Family just is basically useless. There's no way for him to get it into play, and even if he did, it's just a free prize for Dietrich. And he discards a rare candy as well. Not ideal, but oh well. He's just checking his deck to see what he has. I saw 3 Meloetta EX in there. Not good. He ended up just getting a Seismitoad. And he also has another Ultra Ball. Maybe he will play that. But he also has a Pokemon Fan Club. Maybe he's just waiting for next turn to play that. That would be very ideal. Just getting 2 Pokemon and putting them into your hand. Pokemon Fan Club would definitely help this deck out a lot. So he's going to actually claim Seismitoad as the Pokemon he gets with Ultra Ball. And now he's just going to have to pass. And Dietrich attaches another energy here. He could either Y-Cyclone or Yveltal. Oh, and he played in. Oh, and Kendell just dropped his deck. That's very unfortunate when that happens. And it's embarrassing sometimes. Right now, Kendall's just not having a good day. He had 4 Palpitoads in his hand first time. He had to discard 3 of them with Professor Juniper. And off of the Juniper, he didn't get anything that he wanted. He ended up playing the Ultra Ball for something that just got shuffled right back into his deck. This is just flat out unfortunate with how his game is going. Dietrich, on the other hand, isn't doing too much better. I mean, all he could do last turn was just attach and attack. So maybe they're both hoping this in helps them out. Kendell gets 6 cards. Dietrich only gets 5 because he already knocked out Emolga. And his hand is just off screen. Can't see what he got. Kendell got a Great Ball, which will help him out a lot. Yeah, look at the top 7 cards of your deck. Pick a Pokemon you find there and put it in your hand. Yeah, there's no guarantee of what the Pokemon will be, or even if there is one, but there's very little drawback. So here, Yveltal would do 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. And I believe... Oh, we just saw a Pokemon Catcher. And right there, it just rolled off screen. And actually what happened here is I had already finished my game, so I came to watch. And he flipped tails with the other die, but as it was rolling, he picked up the correct die to start rolling again. And then he paused and asked me, he asked if he was able to do that since he already rolled once. And I said, no, you've already used that die, so it counted. So he played another catcher, flipped tails. And now Kendell is in a bad spot. There's nothing he could do. He could try powering up that Palpitoad. It does already have an energy on it. He needs a Seismitoad, though, and he does not have it. He has 2 Great Balls. 3 Great Balls. What are the odds? First turn, 4 Palpitoads. Third turn, 3 Great Balls. That is so unfortunate. But anyway, he does have the water energy. If I were him, I'd definitely try to attach that to the Palpitoad just so it's set up for when it eventually becomes a Seismitoad. And off this Great Ball, we see a Meloetta EX, which definitely is not a bad thing. Now all of a sudden, Round is doing an extra 30, just because there's another Pokemon with Round in play. So right now, if he can get Round going, it's doing 90. That's enough to knock that Yveltal down to half damage. Not enough to one-shot it like I'm sure Kendell would like. He's going to play the Meloetta onto his bench, play another Great Ball. He forgot to shuffle last time, so that's what he's doing now. So Dietrich cuts, and let's see if he gets another Meloetta off this, or Seismitoad. Either of those would be great. Palpitoad is literally impossible at this point. Oh, he got a Temple and a Seismitoad off that. He's going to go for the Temple just because he realizes this active Seismitoad is going to get knocked out next turn. It's unavoidable. Unless Dietrich plays another catcher, flips heads, brings out something else. Regardless, it's always nice to have another Pokemon in play that can begin attacking soon. And we see another Great Ball, but no, he's going to go with Pokemon Fan Club. That's probably ideal. Great Ball here would get him another Pokemon. There's no way to know what it is, though. So we see him get his 2 Meloettas. 1 is prized, so that doesn't matter, though. Right now, Round is doing 150. Not quite enough. Ouch. And he's going to play his final Great Ball. Unfortunately, if he hits a Palpitoad, which I said is impossible, he can't play it because 1's in play and the other 3 are in the discard pile. And he got the Seismitoad, though, so at the very least, he can Rare Candy into Seismitoad next turn. Or, well, if he doesn't have the Rare Candy, he can at least just evolve that Palpitoad into Seismitoad. If I were him, I'd definitely wait till next turn, though, just in case there's a catcher and knocking out that Palpitoad that already has an energy on it. Surprisingly, he's going to attach an energy to the Temple and pass. Dietrich pulled a Tool Scrapper there, which he can't use because Kendell doesn't have any tools in play. He's just going to play Professor Juniper. And let's see what he gets off of it. There's a baby Yveltal, not the EX. And we see a double colorless and a Professor's Letter. I'd go for the Professor's Letter. Just me. There's really a whole lot he can do right here, too. If he gets a Muscle Band onto that small Yveltal, he can retreat into that. Well, there's no Muscle Band, though, so that doesn't matter. He's going to attach a double colorless energy to that Yveltal EX. If I were him, I'd Y-Cyclone at this point. No, he's going to Evil Ball. Nope, Y-Cyclone. There we go. Move a Darkness energy to the Darkrai EX. That's probably very smart, just because it can start sniping stuff on the bench. Oh, Kendall's in a bad spot here. He's going to Rare Candy into Seismitoad. Attach a colorless. Now, finally, he is able to use Round. Round for 150. Not enough. He needs to hit a Muscle Band here. There's literally nothing else he can hope for. His last Meloetta is prized, and he doesn't run any other Round Pokemon than Temple and than Palpitoad and Seismitoad. He didn't get a Muscle Band. Ow. That hurts. So, Round is not doing enough to knock that Yveltal EX out. What can Kendell do? He can definitely soften that thing up to be knocked out later. There's a Super Rod. Definitely something he needs. He's going to put in a Temple. If I were him, I'd put in 2 Palpitoads, too. There's 1. And okay, he's just going to put in a full line. Temple, Palpitoad, Seismitoad. Now at least he's able to hope that he hits stuff that he needs a little later. I really don't know what can save him right now. He just is not doing enough to knock out these EXs in one hit, which is what Round is supposed to do. You can soften it up, but then you're just going to get knocked out that much easier because Yveltal EX especially, Yveltal, one-shots literally anything that's set up to do Round, so this is a horrible matchup. Round is just not doing good. Kendell's pulls have been crap. Dietrich's have not been much better, but he's got Pokemon ready to go in 2 turns. Ideally, Kendell would be able to as well, but he hasn't gotten double colorless energies. He's had to attach 1 energy at a time. He's had to just straight up evolve 1 Pokemon at a time instead of being able to utilize Rare Candy to skip a stage. He's just not having a good day. And he has the Ultra Ball. He's thinking of using it. He's going to use it. He's going to get rid of Roller Skates. I definitely would have played the Roller Skates first and get rid of Roller Skates Pokemon Fan Club. He's going to go after the Seismitoad. That's probably the best play. Just so then... Wait. He's going to go for Temple. Seismitoad probably would have been better, just so then if he had a double colorless energy, he would be able to attack next turn and finish off the Yveltal if it stays active. And if not, then at least keep the damage coming. But right now, he's just got to hope. And there he did Round for a whopping 150 damage. Not enough to knock out that Yveltal EX. And Dietrich just played it in. And once again, I believe Dietrich gets 5 and Kendell gets 6. That looks right. This is quite the match. Quite the unfortunate match. Let's see what Kendell gets off of his 6 cards. Dietrich off his 5 got Dark Patch, Laser. Oh man, he got perfect stuff. Kendell finally got double colorless energies, and I see Seismitoads too. That's perfect. That's not bad. Finally, Round will be able to do probably knockouts. So we do see the Evil Ball there for knockout, and he's going to promote Palpitoad with an energy on it, evolve into Seismitoad, and now it's coming back to bite him because he could attach that double colorless, but then he has just 1 too many energy attached that he would like. You want as little energy on your Pokemon as possible. That's just the general rule for any deck you run. He really wanted a Rare Candy there so he can have 1 more Pokemon in play with Round. Well, he could Ultra Ball for the Palpitoad. He's going to discard the Seismitoad and the Juniper. Oh, man. He's probably just going to find that Palpitoad he shuffled in. There we go, finally. And now Round is doing, again, 150, but he doesn't really have anything to do after. I mean, he can just hope that he No, he has another Seismitoad in hand, but Round is doing less and less and less because he doesn't have a steady stream coming. That prized Meloetta EX is really hurting, but he finally takes 2 prizes. Now they're tied on prizes, believe it or not. Even though it took this long, they both have 4 prizes left. He didn't get the Meloetta off his prizes. That's going to hurt him even more now. He got a Colress, which isn't that bad, an Energy Retrieval, which also isn't that bad, but it's not Meloetta, which means he's not doing extra damage. Dietrich promoted his small Yveltal there and played a Dark Patch. Oblivion Wing only does 30, but that sets it up for Seismitoad to be knocked out with a Muscle Band from Darkrai and Night Spear. Or, you know, a Hypnotoxic Laser, which got a Tails, so it's not asleep, but it is poison. And right here, like I said, I was off to the side. I went to get a poison counter, so we'll see that in a second. They didn't bring their own. So, and then we see a Colress from Dietrich's in for 5. There's the poison counter. Oh, look, Seismitoad has a sad face. It has a poison counter for face now. Let's see what Dietrich gets. I really don't know what he could hope for here. Probably a Yveltal EX. You know, Garbodor is useless. It would hurt him more than it'd hurt Kendell because Kendell runs 0 abilities in his deck. And, you know, that Dark Cloak ability is very useful. So Trubbish would not be ideal here, but he didn't hit it anyway, so it doesn't matter. He did get a Garbodor, but there's no way to use it, even if he wanted to. And he probably doesn't. He could use another laser here, try to just put that Seismitoad to sleep, but that's pretty useless right now. He probably just wants to add the damage. That's his best bet. He was probably hoping for... Dietrich was hoping for a basic Pokemon there. Because in the unlikely event that these two last Pokemon of his are knocked out, even though Kendell would have one prize remaining, he would still win. But we do see the free retreat there into Darkrai. With its Dark Cloak ability, Yveltal was able to retreat for free. And then we see Night Spear for 90, plus 10 for Poison, and then 30 to a Benched Meloetta EX. We see another Seismitoad, another Double Colorless Energy. I'm sure Kendell would love to retreat here, but he's unable to. Well, wait, he is. He has all 3 energy. That definitely came in handy if he decided to. But there's really no point. He'd have to give up a whole lot of energies to do that. And, you know, that Seismitoad is so close to getting knocked out anyway. It's better just leave it up there. But anyway, so now Dietrich is retreating back into his small Yveltal, which can now knock out that Seismitoad with Oblivion Wing. And we see the end. Now they both get 4 cards. Kendall's deck is getting small. Can he hit what he needs now? Now that it's so small that there's not much that you can hope for, but then again, there's not much that you can miss. And Dietrich is going to get 4 as well. Let's see what they both get. Dietrich definitely needs a basic here. So let's see. Dietrich got a Megaphone, which again is useless, Roller Skates, and he hit a heads. 1, 2, 3. I saw a Laser, Muscle Band, and Professor Juniper off of those Roller Skates. He still doesn't have a basic. He's going to attach a Muscle Band to Darkrai, Roller Skates again, and finally we see a Tails on Roller Skates this game. All Roller Skates before this have been heads, which is very unusual. You know, Roller Skates is notorious for people needing it desperately and flipping Tails. So anyway, we're going to see the Oblivion Wing here for knockout. And the rule is if there's a Darkness Energy in your discard pile, you need to attach it to your bench Pokemon. But either he knows there isn't a Darkness Energy, or this tournament was so unofficial that no one noticed that he didn't do the secondary effect. Regardless, he's not going to do it. But just remember that, guys. If you play that small Yveltal, the rule is you absolutely have to. If there is a Darkness Energy in your discard pile and a benched Pokemon, you have to attach a Darkness Energy to your bench Pokemon from your discard pile. Now round is doing 120. 10 short of a knockout. That is absolutely brutal. Just to be 10 damage short. Any more damage literally would have knocked out that Yveltal, but alas, it was not to be. So now we see another Hypnotoxic Laser, and that one actually put the Seismitoad to sleep. And, oh man, there's so much damage there. Kendell is so close to making a huge comeback, but he just can't get what he needs. And if the Seismitoad is knocked out, then he doesn't have anything to lean back on. He has that Meloetta EX, but that gives up 2 prizes, and it takes 3 Psychic Energy to use round. So, anyway, Dietrich there did use a Professor Juniper, finally got an Yveltal EX in play. Now there's no way that he has to worry about losing. I believe Dietrich has this game right here. He's just doing too much damage. Kendell isn't getting enough setup. He's just losing his steam. Dietrich attached a Darkness Energy to that Yveltal. And now if he uses Oblivion Wing, which he did, okay, there's the secondary effect. Now that Yveltal is able to attack. And we see the flip heads, energy retrieval. Kendell realizes, I gotta rely on this Meloetta next turn. So he's going to get 2 Psychic Energy, probably attach 1 this turn and 1 next turn, and start using round for 90 for whatever it's worth. That'd be enough to knock out that Darkrai with damage already on it, but enough to cut that Yveltal in half. Actually, wait, is Darkrai resistant to Psychic? I think it is. Yeah, so it would still knock it out, but still, that sucks. And here Kendell is thinking, okay, well, there's nothing else he can do. He can play Professor Juniper, but he's just going to use Round for knockout. There's his last Meloetta EX. All is not lost. He can bench that, and he's still doing 120 damage at a time. However, Dietrich has 3 prizes left, and after he takes this knockout, he only has 2. So 1 attack on the Meloetta EX from Darkrai, and he wins. So here we see the Pokemon Catcher, Tails. Probably just wanting to bring up a Meloetta before it can do anything huge, but there's no reason to. And there we see the Skyla. Knowing the way Dietrich plays, he's probably going to get a Pokemon Catcher. Just to see if he can bring up that Meloetta anyway. I don't see one in his deck, though. So, wonder what he's going to get. He is going to get a Muscle Band, actually. Interesting. Well, there's nothing else he really could have gone for. There wasn't anything interesting that caught my attention, anyway. So, he's just going to attach that Muscle Band to a Yveltal. Kick Kendell while he's down, in essence. And now that Evil Ball does 20, 40, 60, 80, 120, 40, 60, 160. More than enough to one-shot that Seismitoad, even if it didn't already have damage on it. So Kendell brings up the Meloetta, attaches... Oh, he's going to bench the other Meloetta first, attach the Psychic Energy, thinking about it. And yes, he does. And now Round does 120. Not enough to knock out that Yveltal. Plus, he'll be knocked out by Yveltal anyway. Actually, he is going to do something really crazy here. He's going to use Brilliant Voice. 20 damage. Flip a coin. If heads, your opponent is asleep. If tails, they're confused. And it's tails. And there you go. Yveltal is now confused. They didn't flip it over to mark it, but it doesn't matter. Dietrich's just going to retreat into Darkrai anyway. Night Spear for game. That was completely brutal, seeing Round getting beaten up like that. Sorry to Kendell, but this really was an unfortunate game. But I hope you guys enjoyed it anyway, and stay tuned for more.